In front of you we have a sheet that's for your pattern for your model bridge. There's 3 boxes here. One, we're going to draw what the top of your bridge is going to look like. One box here is for what the side will look like, and one is for the bottom. So there's going to be a top, 2 sides, and a bottom to this bridge. The side is what we're going to start drawing first. If you look here in the middle, there's an area that's got some diagonal lines going through it. That's an area where we are going to need to leave an opening for some parts to be able to test this bridge. So when I start drawing the sides, I want to make this symmetrical, which means it's going to look the same on this side as it does on this side. It's going to look the same. So I'm going to draw a simple truss bridge for my example here. You can draw anything you want, any kind of design. So I'm going to use my grid to count up and across so I get the same sort of look on both sides, because the sides are going to be angled. They're going to go up at an angle from this corner on my example. So I'm going to count up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and across 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, you can draw yours any way you want. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I get it to look the same on both sides. So I'm just going to draw the outline first. So this is what the side of it's going to look like. So I'll connect everything together. And now on the insides, I'm going to draw my vertical pieces and my diagonal pieces to make it look like a truss bridge. So I'm going to do the same thing. Go over 6, and I'll draw lines going up and down. And then I'll draw my diagonal pieces on the inside. Now notice I didn't put any sort of pieces inside here in this blue area besides this one going across, because right here is where the road would lie. If it was a real bridge, the road would go right here. I want to leave a 2 by 2 space, 2 blocks tall by 2 blocks wide space for this metal bar that needs to pass through the bridge. So I can draw an X and I can still leave that space there. See, there's still a space right here. So right here I have a space for that bar to pass through. So you want to make sure that you leave that space. And again, you can draw your design any way you want. I'm just drawing a simple truss bridge for mine. Your bridge, when you draw it, shouldn't be very short. You can draw it as tall as you want the bridge to be, as long as it fits inside this pattern. Your bridge does need to be as long as the box is, so it needs to go from here over to here. It can't be any shorter, but you can make it as tall as you want. I wouldn't make it very short. I made mine about half the size of the box. Remember, the more pieces that you put in, the heavier the bridge is going to be. So the taller the pieces, the bigger the pieces, and the more pieces, the heavier the bridge is going to be. So once I draw my side, I'm going to draw the top. Now the top of the bridge is going to fit from here over to here. So what I want to do is, I'm just drawing these lines just for illustration, but my bridge, the top of it needs to go from here to here, and those red marks. So my bridge, I'm going to draw two lines here. It's going to be a rectangular shape. And you can make your bridge as wide as this box here, because we're looking at it from the top, so this is going to be the width of the bridge. You can make it 8 boxes wide, or you can make it a little less. I wouldn't make it too narrow, or else it might not work very well. I'm going to make my bridge 8 blocks wide. So notice my rectangle is as long as these arrows here, these little red marks, because that piece here is going to fit on top here. So it needs to be just as long. And then where these lines go up and down, I'm going to draw lines that go up and down here. I want them to match up so that the bridge is as strong as it possibly can be. And for my top view, I'm going to be putting in some diagonal pieces to help keep the bridge from twisting when we put the weight on. You can put diagonals in all of them, you can put them in some of them, just depends on what you want to do. I'm just using 2 because I don't want to use a lot of pieces. So the final piece is our bottom, and right here our bottom goes from here to here. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that goes the complete width of this rectangle at the bottom. So it lines up with the bottom of our side view here and here. And again, I'm going to draw pieces going across. Just like this. And one thing you want to note is that whatever you made the width of your top view, I made it 8 blocks wide, you want to make your bottom the same width going across here this way. So if I make it 6 blocks wide for the top view, I want to make it 6 blocks wide here for the bottom, or else things might not turn out very well for you. So you want to make the width of the top and the bottom the same. So I made mine 8 blocks wide for both. And here again, I could put in some diagonal pieces on the bottom. You just want to make sure in this area here you don't put any pieces going across to get in the way, because the bucket and the scale hang from the center of the bridge, because this is the bottom, this is where the scale is going to get hung from, so we don't want to have anything getting in the way that will keep us from being able to test your bridge correctly. So you want to leave that part open. Once you have your design done, it should look something like this. If you have any questions, you can see your instructor.